I wish you were here so we could have a one-to-one conversation, but because you aren't, I'm going to talk about attention today and multitasking and cell phones and texting. These are really important subjects and they're big issues for us today, all of us, because our attention is going in so many different directions. Now, I just watched a video, and it was a bunch of basketball players playing, and we were asked to watch how many baskets were made by each team. That was the exercise. So we did, and we really concentrated on the video. And afterwards, it was all over. When it was all over, the tester said, "And how many of you saw the gorilla in the video?" Nobody had seen the gorilla because we were so intent on watching the baskets go in the hoops. So he ran it again, and we were asked to watch for the gorilla. So, of course, we saw the gorilla. The point is, we don't multitask well. And let's talk about cell phones. Let's talk about people walking with their cell phones on sidewalks and across streets. These are accidents waiting to happen. In other words, you can't be walking across the street and looking at traffic and looking at everything else, the potholes in the street, and be texting and have your attention split like that. Something doesn't happen. And there are more and more accidents happening on the streets, on the sidewalks, and in cars today when people are driving and texting. I've had a personal experience of this. I was in the post office in Los Angeles, got in my car, turned around to see what was in back of me. Nothing was in back of me. Put my gas on and drove out and bumped right into a car. Never saw her because she wasn't there when I turned around. It was like instant. And she'd been texting in her car, and her foot landed on the gas and off she went. Anyway, it was my fault because I was backing out. So I know about things like this. I know that a group of neurobiologists decided to conduct an experiment. They were all very, very important professors. They would go on a rafting trip and leave their cell phones at home. This was a big deal because these people are really attached to their cell phones. Well, as the days went by, there was lots of conversation about this. One professor who was waiting for a grant, to hear about a grant, was very nervous, but they said, "No, sorry, no cell phones." After they got back to their cars and immediately grabbed their cell phones, they had a little time to reflect. And one professor said, "I didn't realize it, but now I understand why people tell me I'm so rude. Because in the middle of a conversation, I will go to my cell phone and either answer it or look at the text." He was unaware of this before. Another man said that when he was at a social engagement and he was a little bit bored, he would take out his cell phone and start texting. These two professors had no idea before these 4 days in the wilderness how addicted they were to their cell phones. And of course, the professor who was waiting for the grant finally got the notice that it had been given. So, I mean, nothing was lost. But we've got to start examining what cell phones mean in our lives and how disconnecting we are becoming from the people around us. What does this mean to our kids? I mean, when we're there, but we're not there. We're somebody else. We're looking down. And what does this mean to our cultural joy and appreciation and presence? I went to a dance recently, the Elvi Ailey dancers, who I think are the best. Of course, they made announcements about please turn your cell phone off and no texting in the audience. Fine. The lights go down, the curtain comes up, and you see all these white lights in the audience. So the white light people really weren't present. They were somewhere else during this magnificent dance. So here I am, Alice Aspen March. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.